Hello everyone, welcome back for English 1510 for 8-week course Summer 23. We're in week 4 for the overview, and we'll be looking at this for our course A8109. Going to be talking about some of the things we just finalized, a couple of housekeeping things from the week past. I still have a little bit of a lopsided feedback disbursement going on right now just because of some file things on your end and ours a little bit, but mostly on the student end. Vast majority of the diagnostics have been posted for feedback. If you don't see that, it'll be if it's not today, it'll be tomorrow. I have to still release some of those, and I'm going through all the summary and outlines for memoirs now. Remember, you are still moving through your drafting stages of memoir. You will get your feedback from your classmate in the peer review forum. Do not forget about these guys, okay? Had a very good start to this term with everybody engaging on those. I had almost everyone in class fully participating in discussion board 1 of class intros. Now for this peer review, I've only had 21 students out of the 25 fully engaged. So make sure you remember those were to be posted. You had to be posted up by Sunday so that your classmates could review your draft for the peer review. I'm reviewing the summary and outline and sending you feedback files on those. This is remaining open until Thursday. You got to go through now this week and review a classmates by Thursday. If you haven't done so already, read through, go to the discussion board forum. You can click on it there or here. Go to your discussion board forum, find one of your classmates whose has not been reviewed yet, read it and review it, okay? Now, on this, once you're done with that, when you see your feedback from your classmate, remember you're supposed to be adhering to exactly what it says on the discussion board. You're looking for the components of the memoir. Do they have a general to specific intro? Do they have a body paragraph 1 that tells the story and ends in a complication? Does 2 give us the advancement of the story, their reaction to it, mental, emotional, whatever it is, physical if that's the case? Does body 3 resolve the complication, and is there a moral of the story, and is that moral or lesson explained to the reader? Okay, those things have to be covered, and that's what you should be helping your classmate with there. Remember, this is not a sentence level review. This is you reviewing content. I will be doing those reviews if you did your summary outlines correctly for the memoirs. I'll be going line by line. If you did full sentences there, it should have no issue with me reading the details there and responding to each one and telling you whether or not these are correct details, they fall in the right place, and it was adequately completed. All right? So this week we are in week 4. Video will be posted here. Week 3's video got moved back down here to week 3 if anyone needs to review that. We're coming up to the end here of the first half of the term. So I started putting the dates in for the last pieces at the end of the semester, the second half. You're going to be noticing here that we have the readings that are listed for week 4. Next week, readings will open up here for the research and rhetoric. You're already assigned the chapters on rhetorical analysis. I want to be very clear with this, guys, and make sure you don't lean into any AI or ChatGPT. It's not going to help you with these because I've already run my assignment topics through the systems. So listen, the rhetorical analysis piece is what you're beginning. The memoir is what you're finalizing. Your classmates have until Thursday to review your peer edit, and I will be getting you the summary outline feedback by this weekend, so you'll have both of those before you make your finalization to that draft. Remember that if anybody has any major problems with this one on the final draft, I will allow recommended rewrites. If I see that you did a bunch of things wrong and it needs to be adjusted, I will give you the opportunity before the end of the semester to do a rewrite on this paper, on the memoir. But just keep in mind, the tutoring recommendations are what you're supposed to be utilizing for those of you who need weekly feedback on sentence. You know, if you have issues with grammar mechanics and all those things, this is Comp 1. This is not a grammar class. I'm looking at content-based things. I'm expecting students to know how to write, at least at the sentence level, and organizational for an essay. Okay? I give you the framework and templates. You give me the work, and I respond to that work. This week, the finalization of the final draft of the memoir. You're watching for your feedback from your classmate by Thursday. As I said, they have until the 1st to post a review. You should have a review from a classmate's peer review of your work, whether or not it met that criteria. And then on the summary and outline that you submitted last week, I'll be getting those back out to everybody. Some of you, unfortunately, got that before you even got your diagnostic, because I had an issue with what company your diagnostic files. But all of that should be the next few days, actually. And certainly my feedback on your summary and outlines will be by this weekend coming up. I should be able to have all the memoir summary outlines reviewed by Friday. The project you're starting this week is the next paper, the rhetorical analysis. To understand this, you must make sure you've done this reading out of the textbook, and you must make sure you're very thorough going through my assignment in the Dropbox. There's another instructional video here, and there are some breakdowns through this Dropbox about the framing and the content. The general to specific intro, remember that means you're opening with a general statement about the topic, right? Giving a specific statement that gives an example of that topic area so that the reader understands what you're referring to, and then going into your topic thesis that talks about what your paper specifically is going to be addressing. The rhetorical analysis is focused on one primary thing, and I want to be very clear with this for everyone. I know that at different times it's difficult for me to make sure that everything says the consistent same thing in all the instructions, because for a lot of you I've had to change minor points throughout. Make sure you read all of this and follow all the directions. Watch these videos and get the downloads that are here listed for you guys. This piece here is you are taking a YouTube video. I need a link to the ad, and I need to have the link to the ad you used. I am going to tell you guys now, YouTube only. I don't want you using other forums and everything else. I've gotten them from different places. Your links do not always work when you submit to me. And some of you are working on devices and things that just don't have software that's the same compatibility. So you're not taking into consideration. You may have different readers and players in the software and hardware you're using than we do. We only guarantee compatibility with certain platforms because they will only guarantee security for us. Okay? So you're looking up a commercial, some type of an ad. Don't have it be long, and it shouldn't be an ad campaign of several of them. It should be one commercial. 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute cut. 3 minutes probably pretty excessive for most of these, but a 1 to 2 minute ad, Super Bowl ads work very well, things like that. I like you to keep it in the area of commercial product because they're usually the ones that are the best. Find something that's made by, a product line that you like that has a commercial. And you're analyzing the rhetorical devices that were used to appeal to the intended audience. What we're doing here is we're analyzing marketing rhetoric. It's used in all forms of advertising and propaganda, and I'm talking about the origin of the definition of propaganda, not the more contemporary usage, where you're propagandizing a topic to people. So read through the assignment breakdowns on here and make sure that you go through each one of these. You have 2 parts for this week, just like you started with your memoir. You're going to be giving me a summary and an outline. The rubric is the first piece. Once you download that rubric, as I was stating here, sorry, move this banner up just a little bit. This piece here, this first document here is the rubric, right? So once our rubric is downloaded and we're looking at the content there, we're going through, sorry, I grabbed the wrong thing again. The rubric right here, 750 word minimum. That's what I'm saying in terms of the paper itself. Make sure you read through the instructions on what you have to give me for drafting stage. I said select a TV or YouTube commercial. I want you guys to grab them from YouTube so that we know that I'm looking at the same thing you are. Get one that interests you and then analyze the rhetoric. Look for mainstream relevant pieces that most of your classmates will either be familiar with or at least recognize. Super Bowl ads, viral ads, these different things. Try not to get too obscure with these and make sure, again, I can see the exact one you viewed on YouTube. Try and keep them under 2 minutes if you can. It's not a hard and fast, but works better. Essay, third person only. There will be no first person or second person at all now. Everything will be third person for the course. MLA formatted, 12-point font, double spacing, all those. General specific on the intro, and then when you're going through this, you give your general, obvious, you're given a category, then offer a specific example of the category, describe your ad is, who made it and why, and then the thesis statement at the end Here's an example of it. Name the rhetorical devices that were used by the ad creators to appeal to the intended audience. So we have devices like imagery. They might use imagery. They might use a celebrity spokesperson. They might use music in the background. They might use comedy. They might use things along these lines. Make sure you're talking about those. There might be captions that are used as part of the imagery or separate, depending on how you want to talk about them. There might be a voiceover narration. If someone's talking but it's a disembodied voice, that's a voiceover narration. Those are all rhetorical devices used by advertisers and marketers of both political things and commercial products to appeal to intended audiences. And they use them to have certain appeals that make people think, feel, and want to do certain things in this area, specifically to purchase products, right? So you're going to give me a general specific intro, and in each one of the bodies, you're going to give me a topic sentence. Each body is going to focus on a different rhetorical device. So try to find an ad that you think has at least 3 rhetorical devices and focus on one per body paragraph. If you focus on rhetorical language, fine. That's one thing I would avoid for most of you. But sound, imagery, expert testimonials as an ethos appeal, popular celebrity figures, spokespersons, right? Humor, sympathy. Remember that a device is different than an appeal. The device is the thing they use, right? If they're using Sarah McLachlan as the spokesperson in an ad, that's a celebrity spokesperson. Her use in that ad is because people will recognize her as an ethos appeal and listen to her because she's popular, not necessarily because she is an expert on the welfare of animals. Maybe she is now. But this is a rhetorical device being used, as is her song in those ads. That would be another body paragraph. And you explain to your reader why Sarah McLachlan was used and what the appeal was to the reader, this case being an ethos one, that makes the reader want to listen because she's a popular figure. The song, as another rhetorical device, would be music, and that, read through these instructions, it goes through another variation of appeal. That's an emotional appeal, or utilizing pathos, right? Make sure you go through all of those. It's third person. I need to have in the paper when you do this, you'll do a conclusion about its effectiveness and a works cited page that just has the link YouTube in MLA format for the piece that you gave me to analyze that you're doing in the summary outline, okay? The summary and outline is the second piece on here. Download that guy and make sure that we're looking at the right piece. You're doing a 200-word minimum summary of what the ad is. Give me your link right here and the title of your ad here, okay? I give you my title of your ad here. Put it in quotation marks because it's a YouTube ad. Give me the actual link to your ad right here so I can watch the one you watched. Give me a brief summary of it and what the rhetorical devices were, and then remove these sample statements. Remember, some of you forgot to remove them on the memoir. Remove these sample ones and write your own for your ad. Give me your general statement, your specific content, your topic, and then your thesis that names the rhetorical devices that are used in your ad. Body 1, remove this topic sentence. What is your first rhetorical device? Is it imagery? Maybe you word something like this. And then I need at least 6 sentences, full sentences, folks. All of these are full sentences. Explain the examples of if it's imagery, then tell me what the images were and tell me what the intended appeal for the intended audience was for them. If it showed a baby crying for a device, what was that supposed to make the audience think, feel, or want to do, right? Explain that for each one. Body 2, next rhetorical device, 6 breakdowns of the device being used, the appeal, the device being used, the appeal, etc. Okay? Make sure that you complete that in total, folks. The other piece that's on here is the student sample paper. You can read through this. I will point out this intro is much more extensive than any of you need to worry about. This student really went over and above on some of this. The intro is at probably about 100 words longer than it needed to be for this one on here, but the paper itself and the way it's written and analysis is very good, so I included as this. You can read through this one and get an idea of what the things were that were done here. I don't include a works cited, but it's a very well organized rhetorical analysis paper. And the last piece that's in here is this charting devices. For some of you, while you're watching your ad, you might find it helpful to do what I've done here with students and go through and write down what devices you see, write down who you think the intended audience was, like who is it marketing to, and then write down what types of appeals they have. If it's emotional, obviously that's pathos, pathos, pathos. Logical is logos, and anything that has to do with recognizability or celebrity or spokesperson or expert would be ethos. All right? You can use that as a breakdown piece for yourself. That doesn't need to be submitted. What you need to do is complete the summary and outline, and I get it by Sunday. Thank you, everyone.